What's up? Jin Fan 25 here. Gonna explain the entirety of the Tekken 8 story mode, so you don't have to play it. It's in chapters. There's 15. Let's do it. I have the chapters here. We're just gonna do it. Chapter 1. Jin and Kazuya fight in New York. Jin gets fucked up and loses his demon power because he rejects it because he doesn't want to lose himself to it. Kazuya wins and decides to blow up all the military satellites so the world's governments can't fight him. And then he's like, King of Iron Fist tournament. If your country loses, I blow him up. Or something. I don't know. And then that's it. That's the thing. Chapter 2. Lars is hanging out with Jin and fights him. He's like, wow, you're weak. And then he's like, we gotta go to the tournament. That's all of Chapter 2, I think. Chapter 3 is the preliminaries of the tournament. You fight Huarong, and you beat him, but before that, you fight this lady called Reina. She's this mysterious person that's weirdly strong, and she knows Mishima karate, and she has the lightning moves. So you know she's a Mishima, but you don't learn that till later. You win, you go to the finals in Italy. Chapter 4. Leo and his dad come and hang out with you at the Yggdrasil base, and you just kind of talk for a little bit about the devil, I think. I don't remember this chapter. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the tournament. It's a big gauntlet, and it's you can choose your own character for each round, and then the last round is you and Leroy. And Jin gets a pep talk by Leroy, and then he wins, and then Kazuya shows up, I think. Is that the next chapter? Yeah, Kazuya shows up afterwards, after everybody's fighting. This is 5, 6, and 7. And then, so, they were also, what's the Italian people were talking, the one with the Azazel hand. She shows up, immediately gets killed by Kazuya, because his whole plan was to resurrect Azazel, that he was in her hand. And then kill him and take his power, and he does. So she dies. And true Kazuya just starts fucking shit up. Everyone's like, hey Jin, you gotta go to where your mom cared about you and do some shit there. We'll fight Kazuya. And then they do, and then the other Italian tries to hit him with the baptism beam, and it doesn't work. But Reina fights him for a little bit and almost dies. Because she's got a death wish for some reason. You don't learn why until later. That's it. They lose, but they escape, and 2 Italians died. That sucks. So they're just talking about next chapter. They're talking about June and where they're going. They're going to the forest. Everyone's going there because Kazuya's now going there, and there's going to be a big war. Chapter 9. Jin gets there, and him and Xiao Yu fight off a ton of Jack units. And then he goes to his mother's grave and then just passes out, and we don't know why. Oh god, I hit the chapter, give me a bow. I'll cut this. Okay. Chapter 10. War. Everybody's there. You get to play Tekken Force with a ton of characters you've never played before. That's pretty much it. Chapter 11. You cut back to Xiao Yu fighting just a ton of Jack units, and then Lars shows up to help her, and then they start fighting. And then Chapter 12, you go to Jin's soul chamber where he's dealing with his past and the devil inside of him. He's atoning for his sins. It's great. And he does that. He beats his devil, and then they become buddies. And then before he wakes up, Lars and Kazuya fight one more time, and Lars gets this little last hurrah. And he Kazuya gets flashbacks of Heihachi or whatever. I don't like Lars, but unfortunately he does live, because right before he's about to die, Jin comes and saves him with the devil power. He immediately, once again, gets diffed by Kazuya, and Kazuya hits him with the Super Baby 2 Revenge Death Ball. And then Jin is blocking it, And then right before he's about to die to it, his mom talks to him, gives him a pep talk. It's a lot like if you watch One Piece, it's like Luffy and Sanji. And he's like, give self-worth. And then he does, and then it becomes an angel, and they fight on a meteor going up into the sky, and they're in space. And it's kind of ugly, but it looks good after a bit. And then the last chapter, they punch really hard, and they lose their devil powers permanently. They like clash and it's gone. So they're just like fighting on the ground in the rain, and it's really cool. Because Jin goes Jin mode, and then he goes back to Tekken 3 Jin with the Mishima moves, and then he goes to Jun. He uses Jun moves, and then he uses a mix as like Super Jin, and then the ending, the real one, is when you win and you kill Kazuya. Kind of, we don't know. And that's it. He like is a good guy, and this is like the only happy ending. And you get to see Reina, and she's like, her devil form is revealed, and it's kind of ugly. But yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm not even gonna look at this. I'm just uploading this to YouTube. Mazel tov.